No.
You should watch it.
No, what's it about?
Wow. You don't know anything about my Merlini Police series.
You know that. Oh.
What? Oh, hello. We were looking back.
You're yelling
at this.
camera at me. Yeah. So I turn around. What am I supposed to, Kawa?
Yeah, my new mailbag was like my last one's Magnus Carta laying down the law, and it goes through stuff like this. There should be, I think, like some sort of standard so that you don't have ridiculously long pauses like this, especially when the DDoS thing was around. I mean, we'd have like 3 hours games and they wouldn't even be concluded, and that's actually an issue. It wastes you guys' time, it wastes our time, it wastes the players' time, and it's not conducive to anything running sort of schedule. DPM would be very unhappy with things lasting that long, right?
Yeah, she's intent on having an orderly schedule.
But I mean, it kind of just like proposes some sort of things to just make the professional gaming competitive scene just a little bit more professional.
You know what would also help is having a lovely Dota girl fan here to spice up the camera shot.
Yeah.
Maybe you can put on a wig.
Well, you are working out, LD. Got to get pretty for the camera.
Yeah, I don't think I'd make a very attractive girl. Don't.
Do you have any good stories?
About dressing up as a girl?
No, I kind of have. I don't think it's appropriate for this, but it reminded me of going.
No, share it.
Well, okay,
now you gotta share it.
This pause going to last for a long time. Well, I was in Montreal 3 months back actually, and we were in a strip club because that's what you do for bachelor parties. And we were there on one weekday night, and there weren't actually that many people in the strip club. I am 21. It is legal for me, by the way. So we were there, and it was empty. And one of the strippers came over to us and was making some small chat. And we asked, like, why weren't there any people around?
Yeah.
So she was like, oh, there's a hockey game, and I forget what team this is. I mean, one of the bajillion hockey teams.
It's not a real sport anyway.
Yeah. So we're talking about hockey for a little bit, and one of my friends has the gumption to say hockey sucks to a Canadian.
In Montreal.
In
Canada.
Okay, so she just looks like someone just like slapped her mother or just like, called her a bitch. And she was trying to be polite because she's trying to take our money as our most strippers. But like 30 seconds later, she just immediately walks away. And I thought that was the end of the story, but it's not. So
I was gonna say that's a little disappointing.
Her name turns out to be Bella, and like maybe 20 to 25 minutes later, like this girl gets on the stage, and she is she's very talented. She was like, I would say, I mean, by stripper standards, there's like real world hot and there's like stripper hot. She was like 9 out of 10 like stripper hot. This girl was amazing. So we're like, oh, we should buy a table dance for our bachelor friend here, indulge him a little bit. He is about to get married after all. And one of my friends, he goes over there with a wad of money. Actually, the guy who's like, hockey sucks. He goes over there with a wad of money. It's like, oh, will you come over here and dance for our friend? And she's like, oh, no, sorry, I don't do table dances. She was being polite, and my friend like starts walking back over here. And Bella, the girl that he had shunned earlier,
did she interfere?
She like raised her hand. She's like, I do table dances. And my friend just like looks at her, and then he's like, I don't know. And then he just like walks back to the table. And the story's still not over. So immediately, one song after that, the stripper goes up on stage, and you don't actually tip in Canada. I don't know why, but you can't make money fly. You can't ring down the ones.
People don't tip outside of the U.S. Actually, it's very weird.
So she wasn't actually like really intent on doing a real good stripper dance, just because they don't really have any incentive to.
Right.
But this Bella girl was probably like a 7 out of 10 stripper. She just did the most ridiculous dance on stage, and we're like, oh my gosh, this woman is so talented. We totally know why she's a stripper, and then we kind of like. We felt bad about it, but we were like, okay, well, she's good enough. What are you guys doing?
Meanwhile, Hotbit is giving blowjobs to Blitz off camera.
Anyways, my friend was like really embarrassed about it, but eventually he buckled down, and we got the girl to come over and hire her for a table dance. And she told us a story about how my friend went over there and just like completely blew her off. He's like, oh, I do table dances. He just like gave her a cold shoulder. It's like, I don't know about that. So
how sad was she after that?
Well, I mean, she got paid a handsome sum, so probably not too sad. But
I was still kind of a bitch slapper.
It was extremely funny though. But don't tell Canadians ever that hockey sucks. That is a big mistake. That's a huge mistake. Life lesson right there learned.
You can tell Canadians whatever you want.
Yeah.
They don't matter anyway.
So one thing I'm not sure of is Tongfu's draft or Orange's draft right now, that's something I would say. I don't know.
You can't
if that
segue
too.
back into the game like that.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to figure out when this game's going to get started. What was going on over there behind the cameras? Okay, I just.
Yeah, can we talk about this for like? I'm feeling a little scarred right now.
I was trying to look at the camera like
we're trying to have a professional work environment.
I
We're
know.
telling wholesome stories about your wanting to celebrate
There
your
was no
friend's
cursing.
wedding.
There was no cursing.
You're a good guy. He's a good guy. She was a nice lady. And then we have this debauchery.
She's very nice and talented.
Yes, very talented. She
Talented.
works hard at her craft. And then we have Hotbit and Blitz. Unbelievable.
What's going on there?
They were really getting into it, by the way. I am just so sad we didn't
I like saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I mean, it's not like this. It's not like, people chatting, having fun. It was a little bit too much fun.
They were a little too experienced at
Their craft.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to call it now?
Jesus.
Their craft.
Guys, it's been a really long pause. We don't know when the game is going to resume. I think we're actually going to take a quick break here, preserve your sanity, save Merlini from embarrassing his friends anymore. When the game does get on pause, we will come back and continue casting. Orange versus Tongfu. Tongfu heavily leading game 2, already leading the series 1-0. Stay tuned.